Just before the video starts, guys, if you're grinding CS2 and you feel like you're stuck or just not improving the way you want, this is for you. I put together a full course designed to help you hit 3k elo. As you guys know, I've spent years competing and coaching players at all levels. I've worked one-on-one with people who are hard stuck, and I've helped them break through by focusing on the stuff that actually matters. In this course, I'll give you the super specific practical advice you need, like the optimal sensitivity range, a training routine, desk height depending on your sensitivity, optimal tone of voice so your teammates actually listen to you in your pug, and other specific stuff like this. We'll also cover how to set up your game optimally, mechanics, communication, everything you need to learn to be 3k elo. When I designed this course, I wanted to make it so I could just pretty much speedrun you to 3k elo as fast as I could. Basically get rid of a bunch of the trial and error that comes with it. It's pretty much everything I wish I knew when I was climbing, so go check it out in the description below. What's up, guys? So I'm going to talk about in this video how to get 20 kills on Faceit. So we're going to go over practice routines, a few mindset shifts and little adjustments that you can make right now to consistently play well in your games and get a good kind of average kills and high ADR. So first thing we're going to talk about is solid practice and a warm-up routine. So tracking your routine helps a lot to see patterns and fix kind of lifestyle factors that might be holding you back. For example, I've had coaching clients who say they play poorly when they're tired or haven't like eaten, but they just keep doing those habits over and over again. So what I find is if I let them track what they're doing, it makes them understand like what's actually causing it, because maybe something might be linked with another thing. For example, maybe when you're feeling down or you're feeling like shit about yourself and how you're playing in game, you're eating like a cookie at the same time and then blaming the cookie when it's actually how you're feeling, or vice versa. So that's why I get all my coaching clients to track everything. But for you, you can just do it yourself. So it's like you just have a spreadsheet where you have like 15-minute like warm-up routine, and you have like 400 bots, 200 DM. It could be as simple as that, and you just tick it off for each day. Have it in your calendar as well, so have like time slots. So if you have like work during the day, just have like your work in your Google Calendar. So just go to Google Calendar and just make your slot. So for example, my Google Calendar, I'll show it up on the screen. It's like sleep, like meditate or run in the morning, then it'll be like watch demos and then do like aim prac and then like warm up and then play. So I like follow that, and it's a good way of like tracking everything, and then also just tracking your numbers, because in CS it's a bit different to other sports where, for example, in racing, where you can just like calculate your lap times. In CS it's kind of weird because sure, you can get like higher scores on like aim labs or whatever, but then when you're actually in game, okay, we have to like you have to do tracking. Like there's different types of movements that like you can't do in like aim trainers. So the best way to do it is track like the volume of what you're doing. So identify, okay, how much time do I have, and make sure you have like a consistent routine that you hit before you get into your pugs. This like helps so much. I know some people, they like to just hop into the pugs and they feel great. Sure, if that feels great for you, but for like 99% of people, you need to get some sort of warm-up routine in to feel that consistency, so you're actually consistent in game, because we're talking about how to get 20 kills, right, average, and you need to be consistent to be able to do that. So get warm-up in, like treat it properly, if you want to get to those like high 3k elo kind of levels. So there's difference between practice and warm-up routine as well. So practice is more of a long form kind of way of improving, and what it will be is like DM for 30 minutes and then like 2,000 bots or something like that. That's like a practice day, and you probably don't want to hit that right before you play. You want to be doing like a warm-up routine, which is like about 10 to 20 minutes, and during that time you're just going to be warming up your aim, doing specific exercises which I talk about in my course down below, but like flicking your like mouse and getting like a feeling for it across the screen, compared to like if you're practicing, you're like actually practicing donk slides and you're like consciously thinking in the game about these exercises that you can improve at, and you're actually just actively working on them. Whereas in warm-up, you don't want to do that. You kind of want to just be like flow staying around, getting a feel for the game. Like, okay, when I flick my mouse this far, am I over flicking? Okay, I'm over flicking. I need to under flick a little bit so I actually hit the enemy, and vice versa. So one tip I'll say is your warm-up should be offline, so not in DM. Why is that? Because when you're on LAN one day, and I'm hoping you're aspiring to be a top player, or at least like semi-pro or play on LANs, or maybe you already do. What they do at LANs is they like turn off the internet on the PCs if you're at like a pretty good LAN. So what you want to be able to do is have that warm-up routine that you're going to use like throughout your whole career. Obviously you can adjust it a bit, but make sure it's like an on and offline map, because that's all you might have access to. So you don't want to get used to that and then suddenly you get like into an event and like have to prove yourself, but then you like warm-up routine's a bit weird and it feels off, right? So you want that consistency. So I see people do like 1 hour, like 90-minute warm-ups, which is, I think, is overkill. Kind of think of it like the NBA on game day. Like players do light drills just to stay fresh, not like super exhausting long workouts. So your warm-up should be something you can rely on anywhere, even offline. So there's no overnight fix to being like a top player. Obviously, it takes thousands of hours. Like everyone in CS, you think, you know, there's people in like deep Siberia playing like 24/7, like getting better every day. They're playing on like 90 ping. That's where Donk's from. So it takes thousands of hours, but it's just consistency, right? And what the edge you can get in CS, which I feel like it's different to other things, is what you're actually doing and the quality of your work, right? For a lot of other things, like I feel like even this YouTube, if I just put time in, you know, I feel like I get a lot out of it. But I feel like for CS, everyone who's putting in so much time, because it's like so addicting, like people get addicted to video games and they just play all the time, right? So the best way you can get advantage on people is doing like specific exercises and like using your time really well, instead of just like using it for like nothing, just like playing pugs, just mindlessly. There's actually like thinking about the game, right? Like using your time to think. So it's just something to think about, because you need to find like what you can do to get leverage on your opponents, right? And it's hard in CS because there's just so many people addicted to the game, just playing 24/7, right? So volume is a hard one to actually get more than other people, and sometimes volume can hurt, like if you're too much. I know I've talked in the past about it, and volume's really important. So you need to do a lot of time, but then you also have to do it very specifically and put your time into things that are going to boost you the fastest compared to things that aren't. So that's why I made the course down below, and that's why I do coaching and stuff, so I can actually specifically focus on helping people, right, and giving you like the specific things to work on that will actually improve you super fast, even if you don't have like much time to play or anything. So the first thing to do, just that you can just fix instantly without playing like thousands of hours, is just upgrading your PC. So many people who are just on a shit machine, like I had a coaching guy from the UK, just on the worst PC ever. I'm like, bro, like I could just see from specking him, like, you're good, I can tell you're actually alright, but like, what is this PC? Like, I can tell you're on a shit PC. He's like, yeah, it's like $500 PC. It's like, how are you expected to get better? Like, you're buying my coaching, which is great. I'm like, I'm happy to help you, but go buy a PC. I told him after the coaching session, go buy a PC before you come back to me, right? Because that's super important. Like, if you get high FPS, like you can literally look like half as good of a player. So imagine you're like a race car driver. You want to just get the best car, right? Possibly, that you can afford. So it's worth just saving up if you're working like some, you know, supermarket job or whatever, and really enjoy CS, or want to go pro, start getting like some sort of salary. Bro, just invest in it. Like, you have to, investing in yourself's the best, and that's how you improve anything in life, right? So invest in yourself, just get a better PC. Like, I've seen players go from pretty average, like I'm specking him like in like old FPL in Australia, and then they like upgraded, and I was like, Jesus, like this guy's actually good, right? So it can like unlock your potential. So do that. If you need help with like PCs, we talk about it in the course, but just look up like best PCs for CS. You need to spend a bit of money these days, like because of CS2, but trust me, it's worth it. Just save up, like don't just cop out on some shitty PC. So another thing to talk about is like performance over wins. So don't tie yourself to wins or losses. I think instead, just judge yourself on how you played. You can set up a document where you like rank, and I get my coaching guys to do this, is like rank your performance on the day and how you played, and then like how you feel about it and all that kind of stuff. You can do that, but if it's like, it's easy just to think about it. A lot of people think about their, you know, they're looking at their stats all the time on Faceit, which you probably are if you're watching this video. I didn't even notice I had 20 kills until like the other day, so I'm like, oh, I'll make this video. But instead, judging how well you actually played. So like, think about, okay, was I like talking to my teammates good? Was I like toxic, causing us to lose? Was I making bad calls? That kind of thing, right? So don't do it so much on wins or losses, but kind of think about how well you played and how you were as a teammate and how you were helping your team to win, pretty much. Okay, next one is learn basic nades. So there's so many people who are like, you know, even 3k elo, they just don't even know like nades, but they know these, like, they won't know window smokes, but they can smoke like deep market from like T-spawn or Mirage or some shit. Like, just learn the easy nades. Like, if you watch like a Donk demo, you'll see he just knows super basic nades and he just always throws them, and that basically makes it easy for him to, so instead of looking up crazy like nade out here, then like, because that's crazy some of the shit I see my teammates throw, but then they don't know like A smokes on Mirage. Just learn the basic nades, like learn the window smokes on Ancient and Mirage, and then just learn the basic ones like AXE, BXE, just the simple ones that you need, like top con from top mid, top con from unders, window from top mid, just like the basic ones. You don't need crazy. Like watch a demo of like Donk or whatever, you'll see he's not throwing crazy nades. Just learn the basic ones. So watch POV demos of pros, so you can just look up like pro POV faceit demo and watch that, or just look up basic nades on X map and just learn them. So I didn't want to glaze over kind of the actual in-game mechanics. Now I can't go over everything in CS, there's so many details and that kind of thing. I cover it in the course and in some of my other videos, but I'll give you an example of something you can just easily implement into your game, and this is called peek, stop, react. So it's like one of the best concepts you can kind of learn in CS, and it's basically the idea that you're gonna, instead of peek and like react to wherever he is like this and just try and see where he is, okay, and just kill him, what you're gonna do is you're gonna peek and stop. So you already know you're gonna clear this angle and you're just gonna react to where he is. And what it does is it lets you like actually focus on killing people, and it also makes you peek super fast instead of doing this where you can like see your shoulder and just shoot. Whereas if you're cutting angles, we also call it angle cutting, but I like to call it peek, stop, react, because you can just think in your head peek, stop, and then react to where he is. Peek, stop, like that. This is what all the best pros like Xantaras and Nico do. So right here, I'm always peek, and I know I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to react to where he is. So I can peek here, and his head might be here, like jump spawning, so I have to just react like that, right? So I know I'm going to peek and stop, and then I'm just going to react, okay? So just use this concept. It's super useful on con here even. I'm walking up underpass. I'm going to be clearing like this. I'm going to peek, stop, and if he's there, I'm reacting to him. So it doesn't matter. I'm not like thinking about like all these different like micro movements. I just know in my head I'm going to peek and stop. And then I just have to react to him, right? So there's less like shit going on in my brain when I'm peeking. So it's like I already know I'm going to peek there, and I'm just going to react to where he is. So it's like my mouse and hand are connected, but they're also kind of separate, right? So like everything I'm doing, I'm like peeking and stopping and reacting to wherever he is. And this is just a super good peeking technique you can use. And this is, watch any demo, Nico, Moniston, they all do this, and people don't like talk about it much, but just use this in your games, and this will like definitely help you get because so many times like people are, you know, they're not that bad in terms of aim, like flick aim like this, but they just have the weirdest like movement, just crouches, like slow movement. If you just fix this, I guarantee, like if you learn this concept, you get like +2 average, right? So peek, stop, react, use it in your games, fellas. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.